What's up guys, it's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. So today is a pretty big day in Empires and Puzzles land, as it seems to be a pretty big day most days, to be fair. But today more so than others, because a hero has just come in alongside the contest of elements, which has literally got the whole forum freaking going absolutely mental. The group chats are exploding. People are losing their minds. I feel like it was when the Michelin Man came in at the end of Ghostbusters, because this slimy princess has just absolutely destroyed the whole game, according to everybody. But I want to find out if that is really the case. I've seen a couple of reviews on her so far. Thank you very much to my man Psychrosis. I really loved your bit with the caramello chocolate bar. That was absolutely insane. So thank you very much. But we are going to take our own close look at Sludgus, I believe is the way you say it. I was always saying Sludgus. But we're going to take a look at her today. We'll see what she's all about, and we'll see if she is really as devastating as everybody makes her out to be. All right, so without any further ado, let us get started. So she is a holy hero, and she is of the Slimes family. So now the Slimes are being introduced into the game. We saw them come in, I believe it was the Solstice summon, and then we saw Fungustine and Gunctus. And both of those heroes I was very, very impressed by, to be fair. Not just the family bonus, but the passives and the skills were absolutely insane. We had a healer in Fungustine. Sludgus, or Sludgus, is also a healer, but she's got a little bit extra. A lot extra. All right. So, I mean, basics, she's of the cleric class. So that gives her the chance to withstand very, very good talent class for her. So it's very difficult to reduce her mana. You're not always guaranteed to be able to cut it. And as we look through this hero, I am going to be looking for counters. Now, sorry guys. So she's of the Slime family. So with the Slime family, they get a bonus from a single hero where Mega Minions and Fiends summoned get 10%, 15 or 20% attack increase based on the numbers of the Slime family heroes in the team. So that is a really solid family bonus, because they do summon these Mega Minions themselves, as we're going to see as part of their passive now. So first passive, they get a Slime Minion upon defeat. So when the hero is defeated, they summon a Slime Mega Minion to the nearby allies. This Mega Minion's got 51% HP and 40% attack, inherited from the defeated hero. Now, I'm not sure, but with that family bonus, I think I had the same question last time, whether that 10, 15, and 20% attack does apply to the minion, because it says 51 HP and 40% attack. So if you've only got one of them, will those minions that are summoned to the nearby then have 50% attack? I mean, I guess it's kind of splitting straws, but it definitely will make a difference if you have, say, 2 or 3 of these slimes on your team. So that is a good passive. And then they also summon a minion when they lose more than 25% of their health at once. Now, this is going to be quite important for Sludgus, because she is the kind of hero that you need to kill quick. Well, there's different strategies, but we'll get to that in just a moment. So if the hero loses more than 25% of her max health at once, she will summon a Slime Mega Minion on herself, again with the 51% HP and possibly 50% or more attack, depending on how many of these heroes you're actually lucky enough to have. Now, in terms of stats, team power, we're getting up there to nearly 1100. So attack of 1122, defense of 1081, and health of just under 2000 means that she is going to be difficult to take out. And of course, her stats are pretty amazing. The art for these heroes, a lot of people say they hate it. I kind of like it. I think it is really interesting. For Fungustine especially, probably my favorite of the new ones released. But you had Gunctus, who's got all those arrows in his body. And now we've got Sludgus, who's got, I've just noticed this, like a trumpet in her face, which is weird. And then obviously she's a musician, so she's playing some kind of banjo as well. I like it, love it or hate it. It is what it is. And they're sticking to it. You know what? If you stick with something, if you're going to go with something, then be true to it. And I'm quite a big fan. Anyway, moving on, we are looking at the special skill, which is called the Dance of the Slimy. And she's running at average speed. So at average speed, she recovers 50% health for all allies, which is a big meaty heal. And then all allies except for the caster will dance the Dance of the Slimy for 4 I can imagine what that looks like. Just like the Mr. Bean dance. That's the Dance of the Slimy. So that's what they're going to be doing for 4 turns. Now, this Dance of the Slimy gives every ally 45% chance to dodge special skills. Okay, it is specific to special skills. Some heroes dodge literally everything. This dodge only applies to special skills, but each dodge damages the attacker for 1600 damage, which, yes, it's ridiculous. That's not a typo. I've seen actual play and actual videos of people already going up against Sludgus. When you fire off the special skill, if that hero dodges your attack, you will receive 1600 damage per dodge. So if you fire a special skill that's supposed to hit all enemies, you could end up with a boatload of damage. I mean, just 2 heroes dodging is enough to kill you. It does just damage the attacker. It doesn't damage all enemies. So that is some small mercy, but really it is the most overpowered effect that we have seen in a very, very long time. So it is, I would say, hugely overpowered. The fact that it can just completely one-shot snipe yourself. Plus, she does really protect herself very well by giving that 50% heal up front. And then when you do the damage to her, she gets the slime minion. She has the passive. If she's defeated, she gets the minion. But if she's defeated, then you don't have to worry about the dance, because the dance ends if the caster dies. It says somewhere here, the effect is removed when the caster is defeated. So by now, you should be pretty familiar with the dance effects. We do have the opera heroes who do those dance effects. We've got Guardian Gazelle who does the dance. So it's nothing new to the world of Empires and Puzzles. But this dodge, where it's damaging you for 1600 damage per dodge, is definitely new and definitely a massive reason why a lot of people are losing their minds. And a lot of them losing their minds complaining, a lot of people losing their minds trying to pull for this hero. And so if they are, then something is definitely working. I'm sure that everybody in Empires and Puzzles wants this hero at the moment, but that's beside the point. It's a huge amount of damage. It is an overpowered special. Now, when the dance ends, the caster recovers 700 HP. So if you didn't manage to kill Sludgus during that period of time, and if you do happen to have not used your specials, then you're going to be up shit's creek without a paddle, because everybody's going to recover, or the dancers, Sludgus, or everybody who's dancing, is going to recover 700 HP right again. So it's huge. It is absolutely huge, and it lasts for 4 turns. So basically what we're saying here is during those 4 turns, you cannot cast any specials. So what does that leave us with? And that is where I want to get into the meat of the conversation about this hero. How do you counter a hero that is this powerful? Now, there are a couple of counters which will come to your head straight off the bat, and I'm going to tell you there are some that just will not work. So one of them is, oh yeah, I'll just dispel it. Now, we've already said this as part of the card, but just to hammer this point home, this effect cannot be dispelled because it is a dance effect. It doesn't work in the same way as other effects do. And then the other is to try and go sort of full power and attack the whole team. That's pretty difficult to do because special skills gonna miss your target at some point. Now, the only real way then left to deal with this hero, well, there's a couple. Number one, which I think is probably the least effective way, is get your own Sludgus, which means summoning until your bank account is empty, your credit cards are empty, and everything else is empty. So I really don't recommend that, but that's the first way that you can do it, and then just battle each other and see whose dance kills whoever first. Second way, which I think could be quite fun, throw Loki in there. Copy her special. You won't benefit from the passives, but what you will do is you'll benefit from that massive, massive dodge. And if you get heroes on her team firing off their special skills, then it's quite likely that you're going to be killing them off. And it could be interesting. You know, you could just throw that back against her and they could potentially just be killing themselves off. Now, why do I think that would work? The reason I think that would work is that nothing here, the damage is not based on a percentage damage. So it says each dodge damages the attacker for 1600 damage. It doesn't say each dodge damages the attacker for, 350 or 450% damage, in which case Loki's effect wouldn't be quite as effective because his is going to have a lower attack stat. He's going to have lower stats than Sludgus does, but it's not. If they do the damage and you're copying her skill with Loki, it's still going to do 1600 damage because it's 1600 damage. He's still going to heal everybody for 50% health for all allies because it says 50% heal for all allies. So copying her special skill means you don't lose out. So that is a good counter for Sludgus. Another good counter will be minions and mana control. So minions do not trigger the effect of the dodge. As far as I know, I could be wrong. I don't think that I am. But the minion attack should not trigger the effect of the dodge, which means that you can safely summon minions without triggering that effect. And you get heroes like, for example, Lady of the Lake and Water Pipe, who can reduce mana and give your guys enough time to be able to whittle the enemy team down. Now, it's not going to be a strategy for everybody because not everybody has super powerful like mega minions, but it can work, I think, in a lot of cases. So that could be an option. And then the other option I was going to say would be tiles and attack boosters. So basically that is your... I mean, that's really more of a like mono and prey type strategy, where you'd basically just bring as many purple heroes as you can. Probably if you had somebody like Gasteel, or even if you don't have somebody like Gasteel, maybe Shark Eye could be a good option. And Sergei also to give them the negative. But then again, when you're putting effects on the enemy team, you got to be careful with this one. So heroes that buff your team and that boost tiles and boost attack, and then taking the stronger element against this hero. So that could be a good option for a counter as well. And then we cannot forget about the now wonderful family, which is the Astral Elves, because the Astral Elves never miss their target. Now, there are a lot of heroes. Actually, there are a few other heroes in the game. I say a lot of heroes. There are a few other heroes. Russell is one of them I'm thinking of, but he really doesn't have the power. But you want a hero where the special skill is not going to miss, because that just means that you are not going to be triggering the dodge, and therefore you're not going to be triggering that 1600 damage. So those are just a couple of counters. I think I maybe sort of thought a few more or wrote down a few more, but I don't think that we have a huge amount of time in this video to be able to go over all of them. But I think that there are some effective counters for Sludgus. I keep pronouncing the name wrong. All I'm saying is that you need to think about them, and you need to think about how you're going to go up against this hero. Now, with that all being said, this hero is a freaking monster. Do not get me wrong. You cannot just go up against this hero without planning and expect to come out on the other side with a win. Like I said, I've seen an attack against her. It's mainly just being to sort of demonstrate her skill, but the dude's going up against her with a rainbow team and just firing tiles to show the effect. It's not the kind of thing that you'll do in an actual battle. So proper testing is definitely needed. But to me, while I will say that Sludgus is probably right up there with the best of the best heroes in the game and does seem on first glance extremely overpowered, do not let that make you a dummy. That's all I'm trying to say. There's always a counter for a hero that's released into this game. It may not be evident at first and it may not be a hard counter, but we've got enough heroes in the pool. I mean, there's nearly 1,000 heroes in Empires and Puzzles. There's got to be a couple of counters to this hero. Yeah, with that all being said, I would really like to hear your guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments if you guys think of any other kind of counters, any other kind of hero combinations that you could think of bringing up against Sludgus. To me, this is one of the best parts of the game. When a hero like this is released, trying to think about like interesting and innovative ways that you're going to just dominate that hero, and then saying, look at this, I can beat this hero and nobody else can. It's actually just a really, really fun part of the game. Anyway, I'd be very interested to know from you guys, so please do drop us a comment. Of course, drop us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and if you don't want to miss any future content, share it with your mother, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now, guys.